Last night, Donald Trump's address became one of the most famous addresses to Congress ever. And even though I have to admit, I was hoping that he was going to go a little harder. I was hoping he was going to come out with a little stronger rhetoric as far as his policies were concerned. But he delivered a unifying speech that you think would be able to unite all Americans, that all Americans could get behind. And I think that that's why he did it. And what we saw was that the left and the Democrats couldn't get behind it, and they ended up really embarrassing themselves. I'm joined in studio by Leanne McAdoo, and it's all across the board, Leanne. Yeah. I don't know where to start. Let's start with Michael Moore, because we've got plenty of these guys. Michael Moore says that President Trump is sick for honoring veterans. I mean, that's unbelievable.
Right, he's calling President Donald Trump sick because he dared to comment on the fact that Corinne Owens received a 2-minute standing ovation, obviously just pointing out how so many people in the audience were commending her and thanking her for her family's loss. You know, her husband was sacrificed, the Navy SEAL William Ryan Owens. And the Democrats just couldn't stand that. They said that she was being used as a tool. And then here's Trump. He's just so narcissistic. All he cares about is the record applause and his ratings. That's the thing is how can you spin this out of control? Meanwhile, these are the same people that rolled out the Gold Star father, Khizr Khan, and who used him as a puppet to get ratings and to spin a political agenda. He wasn't called an idiot by ex-Hillary volunteer. He wasn't called an idiot by this person who targeted Corinne Owens. So he was actually applauded, lauded, and they tried to take Donald Trump down with that little bit of propaganda.
Well, and let's recall, that's been a strategy of the Democrats. They even did it at the address, bringing Muslim Americans, immigrants, all of these political pawns. This is a typical move from the Democrats. So, of course, this is how desperate they are. But it's amazing to me because, for me, this is something that is really unprecedented, where Donald Trump gives the green light essentially on a mission in Yemen. We have a fallen soldier, and he just puts the entire light on that shoulder. He makes sure that that soldier's name is known, that the widow is known, and that they are known as heroes. That's something we never saw from Obama. When people died in missions like this under Obama, you know, you had to go out and seek out who it was, try to find it. You know, people on Twitter trying to raise awareness. You never had the president raising awareness for these fallen heroes.
Right, or showing up there with their caskets, you know, when they're brought to the airport with the flags laying over them. And this was just a kind of across the board. We saw the Democrats very sullen. They refused to stand. They didn't clap. They didn't give the standing ovation. But there were so many things that the Democrats refused to stand for, refused to clap for, and it was very telling. They really put themselves out there as the enemy of the American people. If there's anything that was not more clear after this address, it's that they have positioned themselves as the enemy of the American people. And it's just so interesting the things that they would not stand for. When Donald Trump pointed out that his job is not to be the president of the world, his job is to be president of the United States of America. The Democrats did not like that. They didn't applaud him. They didn't stand up for that. They also didn't applaud when he said that we are all created by the same God. When he said that he wanted to put Americans first, America needs to put American citizens first, the Democrats booed that. They failed to stand up, and they didn't applaud. Nancy Pelosi refused to applaud when he talked about creating American jobs. And there was another very audible boo, the Democrats booing the Trump's proposal to give a voice to victims of illegal immigrant crime. They audibly booed on that. And of course, this is because they had their little illegal immigrants and immigrants guests that they had invited in. And so they had to kind of cow to their base there and say, you know, but seriously, he wanted to open up a victims of crime unit so that people who are victims of this immigrant crime can go somewhere and have a voice, rather than just being hidden and silenced because they're trying to further this open borders agenda.
Yeah, even in a third grade debate style tactic, they were actually doing the hand signaling of the thumbs down when he would say things, thumbs down. It's like, what are we in third grade here? And personally, for me, I thought that the moment with the widow Owens was a tearjerker, a genuine tearjerker. It was something that we were on air for, and I didn't tear up. I could have. But then later that night when I was watching the highlights of it and just hearing everybody talk about it, it's like, wow, that is really just an amazing moment. But, you know, you talk about Nancy Pelosi, you know, she refused to applaud when Trump mentioned the job creation. You You know, and I'm looking at the pictures. You look at the images of these Democrats. Nancy Pelosi is a perfect example. When Donald Trump is saying these pro-American things, talking about bringing jobs back, look at their faces. I can read their mind. I know exactly what they're thinking. It's, oh, I can't believe acting like Americans have it so bad. Why are these Republicans and Donald Trump acting like Americans have it so bad? They've got it so great. They're the best. Well, you know what? That may be true, but you know what? That's a birthright that people have died for. That's a birthright that people have gone to war for, and that's something to be proud of. Why would we not want to protect that? It's a social justice warrior mentality in 60 and 70-year-old people like Nancy Pelosi that are up here literally upset with the fact that people want to put America first.
Right. And that's what I'm saying, is that they really put themselves out there as the enemy of the American people. They showed us what their priorities are. And Donald Trump's speech was all about coming together. Let's work together. We need to truly stand by the campaign pledges that he made to make America great again. And asking Congress, when he mentioned how Harley-Davidson, they're taxed at 100% when they sell their products overseas, and that Harley-Davidson wasn't asking for change, but he is asking Congress for change. And so there he's kind of humbling himself a little bit. And I thought it was very refreshing. The night before the speech, he said he'd give himself a C, maybe a C+ in getting his message across to the American people. And I think that he was able to calmly relay what he's already done since getting elected and what he plans to continue to do, which is why we see CNN polls and everything. He has like skyrocketing approval rates after that speech.
And it really just shows how malleable Donald Trump is, where he can go right from the thank you tour, you know, doing the campaign style speech, all rowdy, get him, you know, get the crowd going, say the things that are politically incorrect. Then he goes into this speech and it's just totally presidential, totally on message, totally focused. The delivery was unbelievable. And it makes it, I think, really difficult for the Democrats to go through this process, but they've committed to it. That's the amazing thing. They're totally steadfast. They committed to sitting. They said, we're not going to stand. We're not going to cheer. They committed, and it was a group think type of thing.
Everyone wore white.
And of course, you've got the former Clinton volunteer that tweets the nastier remark, ends up deleting his entire Twitter because he's so embarrassed.
Dan Grillo.
But how about, I mean, there's a whole list. People are listing the things that Democrats didn't stand for. And as you said, that list is something that is just pro-American stances.
Right. And right, exactly. That is the thing. But you can't applaud when Donald Trump is talking about clean air, clean water, American jobs, giving a voice to victims of immigrant crime. Donald Trump actually saying that he's not the president of the world. Can you imagine if Hillary Clinton had won? She would not have been talking about America. She would have gladly said, you know what, if you need me to be the president of the global order, I am here to do that. I'll humbly accept your offer. Yep. She wouldn't have said, no, I don't want a one world government. You know, I'm here to be the representative of the American people. That for me was the most powerful part. And I thought, you know, it was really, he was able to silence his critics right away by bringing up all these attacks on Jewish centers in the last few weeks, and also bringing up Black History Month, and just some of the things that he said just kind of disarmed his critics right away. And I thought that was very smart. And then at the tail end, you know, bringing it all back to, we're all created by one God, we all bleed red, we're all one, and that we need to come together. And then the fact that even in this first congressional address, that the Democrats couldn't put it aside, even for things that everyone can agree on.
Yeah, and it was almost as if he offered them an olive branch, too. He was looking at them, begging for unity. You know, kind of as the speech went on, I think he was almost looking over there kind of like, okay, really? You're still not going to stand? You're still not going to get behind this? And I'm not sure what they think this is going to do for their cause in upcoming elections. I mean, the Democrats are virtually disappearing right now, Leanne.
Right.
They're like a snowman come summertime, just totally disappearing, melting away. Less numbers in Congress. Less numbers at all levels of government, less voters. People are leaving the Democratic Party left and right. So I think that this is something that is just going to continue to backfire. Leanne, thank you for the time. Thank you for tuning in to the InfoWars Nightly News. The Alex Jones Show will be live tomorrow, 11 a.m. Central. Nightly News returns 7 p.m. Central. InfoWarsStore.com. That's where you support us.
In the past decade, we have witnessed unparalleled scientific discoveries in the area of health. But no one has put together a formula that focuses directly on brain health, nerve growth factors, and optimizing your cellular energy at the same time. DNA Force is one of the most expensive formulas to produce. Some of the ingredients in DNA Force are $12,000 a kilogram. We are using the coveted, patented, only American source of PQQ, CoQ10, and more. You want the best that's out there at the lowest price anywhere? Well, we're bringing you a total win-win. The ultimate value, cutting-edge, trailblazing game changer that also supports the InfoWar. We have produced a limited run of DNA Force, and it will take up to 12 weeks to produce more once we sell out. Secure your DNA Force today at InfoWarsLife.com or call toll-free 888-253-3139.